to be more, to do more, to act on more. So good morning to our virtual family that is now joining us. And I say morning because it is morning where we are, where I am, and someplace on the planet, it is always morning. So we welcome you and we greet you wherever you're joining us and whatever time zone that you're joining us in. For today is saying yes to the yes. And we begin our new month of April with the overarching theme of creativity. And I want to take a few moments before getting into the talk this morning to express my deep gratitude to this community, to our home here in Monterey, for the loving and gracious welcome that was extended to our guest speaker last week. I think there was a little love fest that was going on down here. You know, he was receiving your love and you were receiving his love. And so it's just wonderful to get those reports and to know that we're all one and we embrace all of life. This for me is what community is about. And last week while I was away, I had the opportunity to join some friends that I had not seen in a while in San Francisco for the multiple myeloma walk and race for research. And I was very inspired as they were doing the pre-event announcements and updates and all of that, with the reports that the research, the improvements that are being made in the research, and the anticipation that with the new breakthroughs and the scientific knowledge that is coming forth, that they're estimating that within 5 years, just within 5 years, there will actually be a cure for multiple myeloma. And as I know, as this research continues, that research in other areas that will bring about a cure, and just the revelation of spirit revealing itself through the human intellect. It's just really exciting to hear that. And of course, the rest of the week, I had all of these things that I was lined up to do at home in terms of organizing my physical space. My body said no. And so I honored my body. and the stack of papers that's over here is still over here. I did do some cleaning up on the computer, so I felt good about that. And yet I know that everything is always in divine right and perfect order. I'd like to offer a little bit of an overview for our theme this month, creativity. And I begin with this quote by Charlotte Joko Beck, which is in the book Finding What You Didn't Lose by John Fox. And Charlotte writes this: "We need to approach our state of mind with curiosity and open wonder. That curiosity, listening to life, is a joy, no matter what the mood of life is." And so as we learn to approach life with joy, no matter what is going on around us, this joy continues to reveal itself. Creativity is who and what we are, both that which is seen and unseen. Spirit always creates, even through every breakthrough scenic vista, as well as the challenges. Real creativity is the act of expression. It is not a product or a performance. Transformation is the act of listening with childlike play, listening and responding to the intuitive nudges and the sparks that allow us to really dance with this dance of life. And I think this is what was energizing me before service this morning, is the music that the tech team was playing was very lively and very upbeat. And I had my little bit of a cardio. I checked my my trusty little Fitbit, and it showed that my heart rate was up to 82. And this is even after I had sat down. So that's a nice start to getting the cardio in for today. Today we begin the recognition that our individual choices that heed the creative impulse allow us to say yes to the yes. We say yes to the yes. Next week, we explore the creative journey as symbolized by Palm Sunday. and the growth that occurs as we expand and step out of our comfort zones and we dance with the donkey. That should be an exciting subject to talk about, our dance with the donkey. And then our third week begins Passover and Easter Sunday. And these are transformational episodes that bring to life our personal stories as we reveal, release, and rise into this newness of life that is continually unfolding before us. And then our fourth week, our exploration brings out our creativity into the world. We dare to present our talents, our gifts, our passions, and both our vulnerable and our victories as we boldly go. And so focusing on today, saying yes to the yes, I offer the Science of Mind overview or perspective. We know ourselves as worthy and fully connected to the infinite creator, this limitless source that includes our creativity. And what we also know that what is true about God is also true about each one of us, absolutely true about each one of us. We create from that. And yes, we are the ways in which God shows up in the world. This is an energy. Yesterday in our visioning session, we talked about tapping into that feeling tone, recognizing that this infinite intelligence, this creative divine that we refer to, God, all of the other expressions that we use for this is an energy. We have a tendency to try and anthropomorphize God, and I believe that came out correctly. We try and make God into a person. We try and make God into a human. And we are the human form expression of God, and yet God is an energy. And so we always keep that in mind, that this is an energy that we're tapping into, and this energy is available to everyone. As individualized expressions of the divine, we're connected to one another, and yet we are each our own unique experience. As Rumi wrote, we are more than a single drop in the ocean. We are the ocean of wonder, magnificence, and majesty. And we are living this out as our individualized expressions of this energy. In Science of Mind, we talk about the macrocosm and the microcosm. And Ernest Holmes offers this from Practical Application of the Science of Mind. And he writes, there is an irresistible, universal, and divine urge within us to be happy, to be whole, and to express the fullness of life. The divinity within us stirs this creative imagination and proclaims itself through every creative endeavor. It produces sage, saints, saviors, and will, when permitted, create a new world in which war, poverty, sickness, and famine will have disappeared. And I don't know about you, but I am hopeful and prayerful and intentional that this new world order, in which there is no war, there is no poverty, there is no sickness, and there is no famine, is occurring right here and right now. And I believe that in consciousness, we can begin to establish that. We can begin to see within our own selves how we respond to situations. And when we respond from that place of love and compassion and joy, we are in effect establishing this new world. And so I offer these illustrations that expand our saying yes to the yes. We are how the divine expresses in the world. And I will repeat this over and over and in different ways, just as a reminder for us to really let this sink in. We are the way that God shows up. We are a part of a power and a presence that is greater than its creations. And I always love this line from our Declaration of Principles that says, this creation creates out of itself, but is not absorbed by its creation. And I'll break this down a little bit further. It is here that we are here to be used by this creative energy. It is here to be used by us, its creations. It is never used up. That means it cannot be absorbed, it cannot be exhausted by its creations, no matter how many creations there are. And I don't know if anyone has an accurate number of the billions of people that exist on the planet right now. But just imagine, rather than trying to wrap your head around the billions of people that are expressing on the world, try to imagine just right here in our local community or your local community, wherever you are, the number of people that are expressing as individualizations of spirit. And just see that expanding and expanding and expanding. Each one of us is an expression of the divine. And yet the divine keeps expressing, it never uses itself up. Without you and me in physical form, the divine's creative ideas remain unrealized. And this is our call to bring forth this realization of spirit into life. We are the means and the ideas that touch lives, touch hearts, and allow souls to express. And this is some of what we talk about in our statement of belief. We touch lives, we touch hearts, and we allow souls to express. We have and we are the immediate access to the divine. And our regular disciplined spiritual practices allows us to cultivate and to expand this knowing. Saying yes to the yes. Another way this demonstrates is by our saying yes. We invite spirit to partner with us and support us, trusting our desire to become more. Communing with spirit through meditation, through study, through classes, through contemplation, we are saying yes to the divine, and we're setting our intention to go beyond what we have thought, believed, or experienced in the past. Both our conscious and our unconscious beliefs create our lives. Our conscious and our unconscious beliefs create our lives. And our spiritual practices reveal, heal, and intentionally change our beliefs from limited to positive possibilities. And so we grow our spiritual muscle and we see new beliefs expressed in form. These new beliefs emerge from our saying yes to the yes. And our inner conversation becomes, I am worthy. Life is for me, it is not against me. And we know that the seed that is planted in consciousness is nurtured and cared for by love with the yes. And although it may seem small as initially, little by little, our knowing expands the awareness of new demonstrations of our thinking. We grow and we embrace greater possibilities and even greater demonstrations. The universe only has one answer, and that answer is yes. In the book, You Are Enough by David J. Walker, he writes, you are worth more than you will ever experience, but you will only experience what you think you are worth. I'll say that again. You are worth more than you will ever experience, but you will only experience what you think you're worth. In our spiritual teaching, we recognize that the law of cause and effect is unbiased and doesn't play favorites. And just as the sun shines on the so-called just and the so-called unjust, the universe does not play favorites. The sun shines equally on everyone. We reveal our dreams and desires that we didn't know we had when we say yes to the yes. And we allow our imagination to be our connection to God. So feed your imagination and enjoy bringing forth and coloring the experience of life that you choose to have. And I remember when I first began studying these the teachings of Science of Mind. And my initial spiritual teacher would often remind us that as you're starting out in this philosophy and you're learning these baby steps, practice on yourself. You know, there's a tendency to go out, once we discover this, what is the expression, a little knowledge is a dangerous thing. Once we begin to learn these steps, we want to go out and practice on our family and practice on our friends and enlighten them to be the change that we have now discovered. And I had an experience of this with a very close friend. There were aspects of his life that I thought could be so much better, you know, with all of this wonderful knowledge that I now had and the transformations that I was experiencing in my life. And so I was sending him the Science of Mind magazine and positive affirmations and quotes out of the Sunday messages that had really resonated with me, and all of these things to change his life, And I wasn't seeing any changes. I wasn't seeing the changes with my eyes. And so as life would have it, there was something that came up and there was a disconnect in our connection with each other. And so I went into this process of self-exploration. And actually for about 5 years, I kept questioning and kept asking, you know, what did I say? What did I do? Or how did I become so careless to allow this to happen, whatever this was? I was making up all of these stories in my head. And finally, one morning, it came to me while I was walking. You were trying to change your friend into yourself. Talk about a light bulb moment. And I recognized at that point that the only person that I can change is myself. What we provide for you are the spiritual tools that allow each one to remember the very essence of who they are, and to use these tools to expand our own individual awareness of the divine and how I co-create with the divine, how I embrace the life experiences, and how I expand and grow from each of those experiences. And we remember an expression that is often used in this philosophy, that principle upon which we learn is never bound by precedent, which means that we are never limited by our past experiences or our old beliefs. So go for it. Allow the creativity to express as the individualized person that each one of you are. Allow this to show up in many ways, because each one is an individualized spirit. Therefore, what we contemplate as the law of our being becomes the law of our being. And this is a quote from Thomas Toward in The Creative Process in the Individual. And so as an exercise that I offer to you to be in touch with the divine creative intelligence that is within each one of us, is to ask what it wants to create by means of, and insert your name. And so the question would be, spirit, what is it that you wish to create? What is this highest idea for Robert that is emerging in form right here and right now? And then sit in the silence, insert your own name, and then sit in the silence and allow the answer to reveal itself. And sometimes we can do more than just sit in the silence. Sitting in the silence doesn't always reveal an answer. At least that's been my experience. The answer reveals itself at a point where I am still in the mind. And it could be while I'm walking, it could be while I'm driving. Quite often, if I'm in the car, I will drive in the silence and just allow the thoughts and take in the scenery, mindful of the road conditions, and yet being in the infinite presence with myself. And so there are a variety of ways, and as you explore these, you will determine, you will find out for yourselves how it is that spirit speaks. It's our call to action and spiritual practice for this morning, and I've asked our tech team to put this into the comments section on our Facebook page, and it will be in the Zoom chat. And I invite those of you who are watching on Zoom to save the chat so that you have the spiritual practice for the week. And so our call to action this week is to choose an area of your life that is calling for a change or even a minor shift. Choose one area of your life that is calling for a change or just a minor shift. And if you're struggling to start, I invite you to begin with write out 5 ways that you envision your life improving. Just start with 5. 5 ways that you would like for your life to improve or shift. And then increase this by 5 each week until you have a total of 50 areas, or you may choose to go beyond the 50, or find a number that is comfortable for you. But set a goal that allows you to expand your awareness of how Spirit is calling you to change an area or shift an area of your life. And then the other piece, and this is the key piece, write what you want in present tense as if you already have it now. Be imaginative. How do you feel about what it is that you want? And so in writing it down in the present tense, it would be, let's see, there's a shift that I'm working on in my own life, and that is remembering my authentic self. And so my statement that I write down in present tense is, I am experiencing my authentic self day by day by day, right here and right now. And that shift takes place in small increments and sometimes in much larger increments. So it works if we work it. And then the other aspect of this is to celebrate your discoveries and demonstrations. Whether they seem to you as being small or huge, they are evidence that the law is working, that spiritual law is working in your life. So celebrate your discoveries. Dance, play, create, draw, write, paint, whatever it is that brings life to your experience, do that. And watch how Spirit expands and how you grow in consciousness. And this leads us now to our affirmation for the week. I will say it and then I will invite you to repeat it. I know myself as Spirit knows me, creative, unique, and wonderful. And so let's say, I know myself as Spirit knows me. I know myself as Spirit knows me, creative, unique, and wonderful. Let us pray together. And so as we turn within to this place of knowing the all-prevailing presence of Spirit that is revealing itself right here and right now, we engage in this play of life and we allow the creative expression to unfold in each of us in its own unique, divine, and magnificent way. Knowing that as I say yes to the yes being the indwelling Spirit, that which lives, moves, and has its very beingness as my life, the life of each one that is a part of this experience known as the Monterey Center for Spiritual Living. This awareness of the truth of our being expands forever and ever and ever. We recognize that as individualizations of Spirit, that this creation continues to create and create and create, and is not absorbed by its creation, which means that it can never be used up. And the way that outpictures in my life is that as I continue to expand and grow in my awareness of Spirit, as I dance this dance of life, everything unfolds in divine, right, and perfect order. And so in the stillness, in the silence, in those periods of contemplation, I dance this dance of life. Even though I may be sitting still, I may be lying down, I may be reading a book, or I dance this dance of life as I'm out engaged in nature, as I'm engaged in a walking activity, as I'm engaged in a cardio exercise, whatever it is that I am doing, I am expressing the creative aspect of spirit in every single way, in every single moment in my life. And knowing this to be the truth for me, I affirm it as the truth for all. For each one dances the dance of life, dances to the rhythm of their own beat. And so find the rhythm of your own heart, find the rhythm of your own essence, find the rhythm of the energy of the spirit that is alive within. And allow this aliveness to expand out and beyond. And as Rumi says, there's a field, there's an energetic field of energy out and beyond any ideas of right doing and wrongdoing. Let us meet there. Let us meet in that joyful place of expectancy where we're creating and dancing this dance of life as we say yes to the yes. I bless here and now all prayer requests that either may have been placed in our prayer chest here in the center, may have been written out and sent into our World Ministry of Prayer, or may have spoken to a prayer practitioner or minister, or may have been spoken to a close confidant, someone who knows the power of prayer, someone who lives the life of spirit, knowing that the answer to that prayer is always yes. It is always yes. And the scripture invites us to make our petitions known to the Spirit. And so whatever it is that is in our heart, let us make that known, knowing that the answer is always yes. And praying in the affirmative, declaring that it is done right here and right now. We move forward and act as if it is already done, knowing that the demonstration appears. Whatever the request is, I know the answer is yes. And as I bless people and communities where they are gathering in the name of the one, all traditions, all faith practices, all religious traditions, knowing that there are many paths that lead to this one source, because each one is an individualized expression. I'm knowing that along that journey, that each one is blessed, that each one is nurtured, each one is loved, each one is cared for with the deep compassion of this infinite, this presence, this infinite intelligence. Knowing that everything is as it should be, an expression that we recently learned here at the center, that everything is as it should be, that everything is unfolding in divine right and perfect order. I release this prayer, I release this talk, I release this service back into the law, which always says yes. And I just allow it to be done. And I invite you to affirm this with me by saying together, and so it is. It's wonderful to look out the congregation for those who are gathered here this morning and to see the smiling faces. And yes, I see the smiles behind the mask. I see the smiles behind the mask. I see the smiles expressing through the eyes. I see the smile expressing as the joy and the playtime of the little one who is joining us this morning. How I welcome the expression of the young voices into our community. It's evidence that life is continually expanding. And so I remind those of us who are watching via our Zoom and are part of our Facebook community to use the services of a practitioner and a prayer minister. As we would say in my former community, don't leave home with a problem. Don't leave this space with a problem. Write it out, turn it over, release it, let it go, and know that it's unfolding in divine right and perfect order. And as I have a little playmate with me up on the podium this morning. We have our basket of bunnies that it's another demonstration of creativity. You know, there's I don't know how many of you have raised rabbits or have been around rabbits, but they multiply. I mean, they really multiply. And so I have a little friend with me that we're going to dance this dance of life throughout this month of creativity. And I invite you to find a dance partner and to dance this dance of life. And as we're dancing the dance of life, we have the focus on our bunny basket. And so as we continue to dance this dance of life, let us now participate in our affirmation of abundance and to share the expression of life in the form of spiritual coins. And our affirmation of abundance reads, I recognize the presence of God within as a source of my abundance. Out of my abundance consciousness flows everything I could desire in life. With gratitude and thanksgiving, I now participate in the uninterrupted flow of abundance. This prosperous experience is evidence of my abundance consciousness. And so for those who are here in the sanctuary, we have our giving basket, which is on the hospitality table. Invite you to leave your donations there. And for those of you who are online, we have posted the various ways that you may continue to support the spiritual community. You may donate online through our secure website. You may mail in your contributions, and the mailing address is on your screen. And you may also text to give, and that number is on your screen. And so we are continually grateful for the expressions of love and for the donations that keep this community alive and support. I see a note in the chat. Okay, that's not for me. And so in deep gratitude for each one that has joined us from wherever you are via our Facebook, and our talk will also be posted on our YouTube channel. We invite you to return next week as we continue our theme of creativity, and our talk will be Dance with the Donkey. And I'm not going to give you any previews. I'm just inviting you to show up and be surprised at how this dance goes. And I'm going to ask our tech team next week to cue up that same music beforehand, so I get my little cardio workout before service, and invite you to join in with me. And so to our virtual community, we say thank you for being a part of our community. We love you, we appreciate you, and God bless you. And we will see you next time.